Eventful year with WWE 2K25 thus far, man, and we're here to talk about a little bit of my faction, some content, some things like that I wanted to go on ahead and get into and just talk about the potential of things and where things could actually go with what we've seen the past month. Now, let's go on ahead and get started with the new content that they dropped, which I am not the biggest fan of, if I'm being completely honest. We look at this Toy Titans content that they continuously drop. I believe this has been around since like 2K23, if I'm not mistaken. It started with John Cena. Now we have The Rock. We have Bruce Cody Rhodes. We have Hulk Hogan. I mean, it is what it is, right? Seth Rollins, Jade Cargill. It's not bad, but it's not the best, right? If you're not going to give us a ring, if you're not going to give us some sort of arena that looks like it was built with toys or a toy looking arena, then I don't want it, because now it's just you're giving me all these things and it just looks out of place in my video game unless that I'm able to make it look in place with arenas and different things of that kind. So that's one thing that I definitely want to go on ahead and point out with this type of content. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's the way I feel about it. If you're gonna give me this, give me the whole shebang. Now, before we go on ahead and move forward, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We are on our way to 18,000 subscribers. Appreciate the love on all the other content that we have dropped, so shout out to y'all for that. Let's go on ahead and get into the rest of this video. A couple weeks back, we found out that AJ Styles was being added to the game, and it was pretty tough. There was a lot of requirements. I talked about the requirements, and again, that's just something that it looks like it's never going to change, because that is 2K's way of getting their money and, you know, making sure that you have all the cards that you need so you can go on ahead and play whatever other live events are there that require you to have those cards. And then it's like a ladder, right? You're just going to keep climbing up and up and up with all those rewards, and that's that. But personally for me, right, I want to see more of that type of stuff with AJ Styles. I'm not talking about the requirements here, but give me more. Right now, them adding, you know, TNA licensed stuff in this game does give me hope for the next coming years. This partnership is going to blend into the video game like it is now. We got Abyss, now we got AJ Styles TNA version, which is super dope. I would love to see different wrestlers. Now, when you look at MyFaction and you look at what they're doing, we still have not seen a MyFaction exclusively locked character yet. And I believe that it's only time before we get that. TNA partnership will allow for something like that to happen. I'm still surprised an exclusively locked Joe Hendry hasn't made his way into this game. I feel like stuff like that would make people really want to play this mode. Now, you have your people that are going to complain about it, and that's fine, but you are going to have people that will want to play this for what it is, simply because that is the only way to attain these exclusively locked MyFaction wrestlers, because all we've gotten is attires thus far and toy models. What if 2K went ahead and said, all right, we're going to start locking in some characters that you guys never seen before in this game, like TNA, of course, and add it into MyFaction to where you can pull them through packs or you can grind for them or whatnot. Me personally, bro, I would like to see something like that, right? Because I don't feel that they're going to go the extra mile to just add those wrestlers onto the game. Like, a lot of people are under the impression that because they have the season pass, they're supposed to get something that was never marketed or talked about at all in the season pass. There's so many more things wrong with this game that you can complain about before you complain about some additional content that you have to pay for and you're mad because it was not added in your season pass. I just don't know if that's justified, to be completely honest. And again, just so many more things that I like to talk about and I want to see fixed before that, because microtransactions aren't going anywhere, guys. They're never going anywhere. This is the new era of gaming, and honestly, new is probably the wrong word. This has been going on in so many other sports video games for such a long time, a decade plus now. You look at the Ultimate Team modes from Madden, NBA 2K, FIFA. They've been doing this for years. 2K with the WWE franchise, they're just trying to catch up. And are there things that they do wrong? Of course. There's so many things that they do wrong, if I'm being honest, with the MyFaction mode. But there is so much potential in the MyFaction mode. And I will be the first to tell you, this year, about 2-3 months in, I shut this mode off. I barely play it. But that still doesn't take away the fact that there is something, some way that they can get me back to really want to play this mode again. Just my 2 cents. And I really feel that adding, you know, some of those TNA wrestlers, a Jeff Hardy from TNA from years ago would be dope, bro. A Willow would be sick. I would love to see it. I would love to see things like that get added into the game because I think it just builds hype. I think that's at the end of the day what we want as consumers, and me, myself, as a creator that enjoys talking about this game. I want a reason to talk about this game, and I don't want the bad reasons to talk about this game. And I think that adding some of those characters and doing different things, put arenas in packs, put different things in packs, give me a reason, right? And I think that a lot of the time it can be underwhelming because of the way that it's done, and it easily backs people off of the mode and not want to play the mode, in my opinion. I think that's probably the biggest part for me. Like, it's easy for me to shut down and not want to play the mode because I feel like I'm not missing out on anything. The AJ Styles, yes, of course, that makes me feel like I'm missing out, but then there's so many other things that I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it, right? You weigh your pros and cons, and that's the way that I've really approached MyFaction around May, because that's when I really saw what it was. I really enjoyed MyFaction for the first 2 to 3 months. I don't know exactly what switched. I know that it started with pack prices, but then there was just so much more that I'm like, man, no, you know what? This ain't worth my time or money. And I've been real honest about that. I'd rather play Universe mode, which was updated a ton. But again, just an idea and a way that we can improve, you know, what MyFaction is and how to get people to play this mode, which I'm sure it seems like a lot of people are playing this mode. For the amount of people that dislike it, that are very vocal about it, there are a lot of people that are being very quiet about the mode but still play and still spend money on the mode. So I guess it's really just a me thing and some others. I guess it's really just a me thing on the content creator side. I just feel like me playing all the other Ultimate Team modes, I've seen how this could turn out, so I'm just kind of just chilling back, laying back. I'd rather talk about it, see what they can do differently, see what they can do better. And again, I just feel like sometimes this mode is like light years behind other Ultimate Team modes, and that's the reason why I probably feel this way about it. If I'm being honest, I just think that there's so much more that they can do, but so much more that's not done. And you know, thinking about the possibilities of this mode does, you know, make me excited for the future, because I have to think that 2K probably has thought about it before. How about we added this or that in there, and just wrestlers that make sense to add. Don't just go and leave a wrestler out and then add him into MyFaction so we can spend money on a wrestler that was just in the game last year. I think it has to be done strategically and with wrestlers that we really didn't expect to be in the game but were actually in there. And the TNA partnership allows for that. It really does. With all these wrestlers that we've seen in the past before, a lot of ports, things like that, it honestly seems easy to do that, even though I know it's harder from a licensing and a game developing aspect. But again, just trying to make this mode more intriguing and more enticing, I think that would be really cool. And seeing AJ Styles make his way in here with his TNA attire, TNA music, that was cool. That was interesting, the fact that they did that, and it made you want to pick up this game and play. So what if they took it a step further? You know, and again, it's just conversation. This isn't speculation. This isn't a rumor. This is just something I want to gauge your thoughts. I want to see how you would feel about that. Would you want 2K to go on ahead, add more characters into this mode that you necessarily don't expect? Because I feel like the Persona cards this year, they started off really slow and then they started picking up. And I think that they need to find a way to pick up throughout the whole year, and not just, all right, we're just going to start with these and just repeat these. Because that's the thing too. Like, you're paying for these Persona cards last year and then you're doing it again this year. There has to be some sort of middle ground here, and they need to find that ASAP, because I do think that that is a bad thing. The fact that you're reselling the same attires, it's not like Madden, it's not like NBA 2K where, you know, the gameplay is different. You drop different cards every year, even though they're the same players, but there's just a more intriguing factor to it than just paying for the same attires over and over and over, especially for those that don't play MyFaction for MyFaction, but more so play MyFaction for their roster and other modes in the game. That's just my 2 cents though. But let me know how you guys feel down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Am I wrong? Am I tripping? Is this a good idea? Let me know down below, man. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.